we want.
How fun Chef Lucky has been.
Like mangosteens.
Oh, thank you.
Mangosteens.
I don't know how you know
It's the
this
Jewish
shit.
version of my vagina, mangosteen.
Uh-oh.
I was looking at Chef Lucky had some pictures on her iPad. She was showing us of her kids' cooking class, which, by the way, are very impressive, and I think your kids would have a wonderful time. But we were also talking, you get a group of some adults together, get a cooking class, drinking some wine. That's all so fun. But there's these pictures of these fruits, and I said, "What are they?" And they said, "Oh, they're mangosteen." Well, and I showed them to Sierra, and she's like, "Oh, those are mangosteens." Like, well, how the fuck do you know this? There's no mangosteens when you go to Food for Less here. You can't find them here.
Because unlike most Americans, and it's a statistical fact that most Americans do not eat outside of the four main food groups, and that is barbecue, hamburgers, corn, and Chinese. So they never.
Who is that?
Barbecue, hamburgers,
who doesn't eat
corn,
out
and
of that?
Chinese. Most Americans.
Where's the pizza food group?
In the barbecue, I would say, because you can get barbecue pizza. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so burgers, pizza, spaghetti, and Chinese food.
Yeah.
Like that's the four main
that's
food
the
groups
four
in
main
America. But I like to explore different foods and not just like, oh, let's go have Thai at a Thai restaurant today. It's like, let's go find the seediest, most backwater, hole in the wall, other flavored food place we can find, because in there is where you will get the authentic version of this food. Like, you go to a really well cleaned, brightly lit Chinese food restaurant, you've wandered into Panda Express, and we all know that's not Chinese food.
You mean Panda Express that all of the employees are Hispanic?
All of them except for the one Asian girl working the register. Yeah, basically. But so I like to go into these places and look at the menu and say, hey, I can't pronounce that. What's in it? And as long as it isn't entrails, oh my God, barbecue ribs, those are good.
Now, since you mentioned that, can I?
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, let's go ahead.
I just thought when you just saying that, come to my version cooking on my version. I owned a restaurant in Texas before I moved over here. So my ex, he loved barbecue. Okay. And we decided to do mixed Texas barbecue and Thai food. That's what he said. Yeah.
The heavens have opened.
Texas barbecue vs Thai food. Then no one ever had that in that town.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing combination.
It's very crazy. People in that town just like love me. There, one other guy come in my kitchen every day, come to my restaurant every day. He's kind of old. Why do come? Just come say hello. Basically, come get the. He loved my Thai. My regular iced tea I made. He loved it. But anyway, he came to order the barbecue every day, and he liked to have like a meat chopped on the bread, just really soft for him and all that. And one day he just said, Lucky, I really don't know where the heck you're coming from. I know you come from overseas, but whatever it is, you know damn good how to cook Texas barbecue better than the white boy.
Oh,
That's
God.
what he said to me.
Better than the white boy.
I'm like, wow, that's very impressive.
Barbecue, the origination of barbecue what we do here in America now is a combination between what started in Mongolia, which is your Mongolian beef barbecue kind of thing, and it traveled over here, and Native Americans started making it their own way, and then you get the African slaves down into the Caribbean islands, and they mix with the natives there, and then their barbecue comes up into Louisiana and mixes with the Native American barbecue, which mixes with this, and then all the Asians come over in the 1800s, and their barbecue gets mixed in with our barbecue, and so what you get in America now is this melting pot of barbecue that has come literally from all over the world. So your Texas barbecues probably got already from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, Asian flavors in it. The same thing with St. Louis barbecue and all those other things. They're not just American flavors.
And there's ginger in your barbecue sauce, right?
No. This is just plain regular barbecue. I would say that the sauce is different. I don't normally put the sauce on the top. Depend if my customer asks for flavor. Then
I got for extra sauce, right?
But what will make it different though with the Texas barbecue, I have to say this.
I want to show these on camera. Can I show these ribs?
It doesn't. It looks more like a crime scene from that distance.
But no, you make people don't want to eat a barbecue.
It looks really good, guys.
They all love it. I post this picture on Facebook. They all go crazy. I'm like, girl, you know how to cook barbecue? I say, yeah, I know how to cook barbecue.
One of our
Barbecue
listeners
too.
wants to know, what's your favorite dish to eat, both Thai and non-Asian?
What my famous
Your
Your favorite
Your
dish.
favorite Thai dish and
And
your
your
favorite
favorite-
non-Asian dish.
My favorite Thai dish is chili basil. Very simple.
Chili basil?
Chili basil basically I like my beef and ground chicken. It can be beef or ground chicken. It can be any meat, can be pork, can be, but my favorite one will be chicken. It have to be chopped chicken. I don't like the chicken with the piece like a sliced chicken.
Right.
Have to be chopped very fine and have to be very spicy. And I can eat that pretty much every day. Have to be with white rice. I do not like fried rice. I love to cook fried rice, but I do not like fried rice because the flavor. I like white
Right,
flavor.
right. Yeah, because it's just,
Yes.
Because you got the flavor of
Yeah,
the
and I
meat,
like to have like I like to add a little bit of fresh vegetable in there, and I like to add a lot of fresh basil in it. Those are one of my favorite. I can eat that every day. Pad Thai, not my big favorite.
All right, what's your favorite American dish?
American dish, I love barbecue.
Barbecue?
Sometimes if you ask me, do I eat hamburger? Some people like, you eat hamburger? I say, yeah, heck, I eat hamburger. And if I go to hamburger place, that's the only place I like that In-N-Out burger.
In-N-Out burger. Well, I told you when those ladies were here from the UK, the first day they were here, it was time to go lunch, and she said, "Can we go to In-N-Out Burger?" Like they had heard about In-N-Out Burger and had to get there.
In-N-Out Burger is the West Coast White Castle.
I guess so, huh?
I think the reason why, like, sometimes you think of this. Oh, I'm so in the mood for like something with protein, beef, big juicy barbecue, big juicy burger. You must think of In-N-Out Burger. I can't think of any
I think of
place
Smash Burger now. Have you ever eaten at Smash Burger?
You know what?
driven
I'm not a big
past
fan
there.
with that sauce. To be honest with you, I do not. The texture is not for me. I like plain In-N-Out Burger. My favorite.
It's good. I'll tell you. It's
Yeah.
yummy. Oh, that one was me.
So did I answer your question at all?
Yes.
You did.
that's
That was
so
one of our listeners. Well, let's do a little bit of catch-ups, guys. Toxie, why don't you start with your week and tell us how your week went? And don't think that our guest isn't going to have to tell us a bad dating story. You get ready for a bad dating story, Lucky. All right, Toxie, tell us about your week.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I don't have much.
Did you have, I saw you kidnapped.
Come on, let's tell me.
I saw you kidnapped Mr. Toxie's phone for a while this afternoon.
I did. I took some selfies from bed. It was very simple. I just said, "Hey, let me see your phone. I want to play with it," because he got the Galaxy 5. And so I actually don't care for it too much. It's, it types different, and I'm not a fan, but I was playing around with it. So I decided to fill it up with some selfies. Clean selfies, because if they were other selfies, he would distribute them to
His
anyone
buddies.
and everyone, which he does,
selfies.
and he has. So
Man, look at my hot wife.
right. So I
Look at that
like
big
to,
juicy
I
vagina.
like to keep it nice and clean. Yes, because I don't necessarily need my vagina put out there for all. I mean, maybe, but not.
I'm
for
okay
all.
with it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. If he sends it to a couple, if he makes it
I
into
can
a
be
Christmas
shy on
card.
that kind of thing.
If he puts on a Christmas card and sends it to a lucky few, I mean, maybe.
Happy V-Day.
I'm assuming it ain't so bad down there, so
It's not. I've seen it.
Yeah,
There
so
we go.
good
There we
stuff.
There we go.
Let's see. We had I chaperoned a field trip on Friday,
Where was the
and
field trip too?
it was to a retirement facility.
Oh, that's a lot of fun
And
for kids. Woohoo.
It is.
Well,
Let's go to a place that smells like pee and old man vomit.
Well, here's what they do, because it's a religious school that my daughter's affiliated with. They like to go and they pass out presents and then share their message. And then they also have the kids participate with a lot of things, whether it's
like assisting.
they did songs. So we go in and it's middle and high school that go together. And so we go in and First off, I have to drive. I was asked to drive, and it took 28 cars to get everyone there.
Oh my
Because they
God.
don't have a bus. And
They could.
so
I'm gonna put a hold on you for just a minute. The school your daughter goes to is not a public school; it is a private school.
that's correct.
They could rent a bus.
Yes, we would have to pay for it.
Yeah, private
Don't you
schools don't-
already pay for
Yes,
it?
but we would have
No,
to
but
pay
the
for
school
it.
doesn't have the money to pay for it.
Yes, they do.
Right.
I'm telling you, they do. I know how much private schools
well,
cost in
I
this
went-
town. I've
I-
priced them all. They can afford to
Well,
rent
and the
these people a bus.
teachers make less than anybody at the private schools.
They
the public
actually
school.
do. That
I
is
went
true.
I went to private school for 12
That
years.
is
I
true.
know how
As
it
far as
works,
with a lot of the private schools, unless you're in a private school like
Las
the
Vegas State
Meadows.
School?
Oh, the
Well,
Montessori school. Yeah, like the
or they're
Meadows.
like
yeah.
the Meadows is.
Meadowbrook or whatever.
I
that
looked
one
at
is.
that, and that was like, I'm like, this is a great. No, it's not. And there's some that I would pay more for than her college tuition. So
Right.
we're like, well, we'll pass on those. There's one she really wants to go to, and it's just.
It's in the tens of thousands per semester.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's beyond. So yes, if there were a bus, we would have to pay for it. Trust me, we supply our own paper towels and hand sanitizer and all that everybody has to provide for school, except I'm always like, why am I paying for all this when I'm paying for school?
Right. No,
Like
I
paper
understand.
and pens and pencils. I'm like, can you not throw a pencil in the package? Can we not get a little pack of paper in with as I'm writing out the check? But anyway, so we all drove and we got there and again, it was only supposed to be middle school and high school. Well, they said this year we're going to invite some of the elementary to come with us. And so they get all set up in there and a lot of different performances, like drama class performed and the band performed, and there's a praise team that performed quite a few songs, and like they did a dance and a reading, and they talked to the residents, and like the high schoolers passed out presents, and it was really great. But what happens is I have a few things that, we talked about my cold dead heart, but there's a few things that like really, really break me, My instant number one thing, if you want to see me like drop to the ground and bawl, is little kids crying or little kids singing. There's just something about little kids singing
And
that,
especially if they're singing holiday
Singing?
songs.
or singing, yes, or if they're singing like church songs or holiday songs, like forget it, I'm done. I'm a big mess of goo. Even every year when my daughter would have this holiday performance, I sit in the back, I have all my tissues wadded,
I'm the same way.
and I'm in the back. And God, one year she had a solo and I was like standing at the very back, like ready to kind of run out because it was ridiculous, So I wasn't prepared for this because it's middle school and high school, not the same as little kids,
Right.
not the same as the younger ones. And then they said, we want the little ones to come up and sing along. And I'm not even thinking anything of it. And I'm like, oh, how cute. And, waving to my one friend's daughter, like, hey. And, and I'm texting with another parent friend of mine who was back there. And all of a sudden they start singing. I'm like,
Christmas time! It's Christmas time!
it was almost like an instant, like, and I was so unprepared. I had no tissues. I had no
Like somebody
nothing.
turned on the orbital leak system.
Heart,
It
girl.
does something that it's instant. It is awful. It just, I pour.
You missed last week when we talked about the world's saddest fucking Christmas
No, I would
song.
know.
And she and I, in the first two chords of the song, just talking about it, started weeping.
Oh, it was
Stupid
bad.
song.
And it's not, as I've said many times, I'm not a pretty crier. I'm not a girly, like, let me dab my eyes with a tissue, I'm like snot dripping, mascara
Face is
rolling
all
down.
crinkled up. You're like,
yes. Yeah, my face
turn into Jim Carrey on a
that's
bad
it.
day.
Exactly. Like my shirt is soaked in a mixture of snot and tears. Like, it's just awful. Like boogers are hanging from my hair. There's nothing pretty about it. There's no dainty crying here. So this is what happened. And where I sat, like I wasn't even prepared to kind of sit behind everyone or position myself in a way that no one could see me. I'm like in front of everyone, like a blubbering idiot, like, like just trying to not to. So, I think it's all over. I'm all dry. That my parent friend is like, okay, it's almost over. Like, just breathe. It's okay. And she's trying to calm me down because she's known me for, going on 6 years now, 7 years now. And this has been since like the very first program in kindergarten when I realized this was an issue. So they get through all the rest of the performances, and I'm fine, and everything is great. And so at the end, they say, we have a special treat. One of the residents would like to perform for us. She has a special performance. So they help bring this little old lady up with a giant ass harmonica, like bigger than her head. And she's like, I need help holding the music. And she's all like, cute and quiet and everything.
Achoo, she falls over.
Don't be mean to the old lady.
And she starts, and there it goes. My eyes deceived me, and my tear ducts were like, "Whoa, we're not done yet."
So wait, old ladies playing music on harmonicas make you cry?
I never knew. I had no idea. And so I'm sitting there, and again, my mom friend back there is like, she sees what's happening.
Are you the only one in the room crying?
Of course.
It's supposed to be relaxing.
You're right. It's her. It's like
no, it's old sad hobo riding the rails music played by a 98-year-old woman on a harmonica.
She's like 98, and she's like, joy to you, like playing, whatever kind, and just like, and it wasn't even. I mean, some notes were off, and I didn't care because she was like 98. It didn't matter, but I couldn't make it stop. It was awful.
Your daughter is embarrassed.
I mean, she was down on the ground below me,
not my mom.
and she's like, I'm not even turning around. Right. I hear what's going on back there. I'm not even acknowledging that's my mother. I'm not. If I look at her,
she got into someone else's car on the way back.
If I look at her, people will know that we're related. Let's pretend this is not happening. So, that was it, and I'm just trying to slop it up a little. It was awful. And then just when you think she's done, she's like, I'm gonna play "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," and I'm like, oh, for the love of God, like let this stop.
That's funny.
Talk about that. Can I ask you something about that? Have you ever cried and talk about? Now I'm gonna go a little nasty. Well, you got. No, not so bad. Not so bad. But what I'm saying here, have you ever think about this? Like, for example, I know I'm kind of shy to ask, but let me ask you.
Don't be shy on this show.
Hell no,
we're not shy.
We're talking about
because sometimes I have that kind of feeling, like when you come to that point when you have sex, and when you come to the end of it, and you just so happy and you cry.
Yes.
Is that maybe just a silver?
No, not her.
Not me. No.
She's like a man. She's like, orgasm.
She has no heart.
No
heart.
But what in your mind?
Her husband's all romantical and wants to bring her flowers.
After sex is over, I'm like, roll on your own side. Let's not discuss this at all.
She's like a man.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, you know what though? I've had an orgasm so good it made me cry. I've been in that.
I've had an orgasm so good it made me laugh hysterically. I am not even kidding you.
Wait. I can see you start laughing, and the guy's like, "What is it? Too small?" What?
No.
He's thinking you're laughing at him.
No. It was with Cali guy, of course, and we got done, and I started laughing because it was just so good, and I was giggling, and then it got more it turned into like psychomaniacal laughter. At some point, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "It was that good." Like, it's hilarious.
So I haven't, but obviously
because maybe it's not happened for me. It not happened every time, but I think doesn't happen.
Are you in a relationship now?
You know what? To answer that question.
No, you do. You don't have to answer it. Do you have friends with benefits? That's a better question.
I think so. Well, you know, of course, I'm 44. I've been through a lot in life.
Yeah.
You know, people get married.
I'm 52. I know.
Divorce and this and that. You know, I do understand that. And my point is, my first marriage wasn't. You know, I'm not in love. For example, I'm young. I'm stupid. Do crazy stuff. And I'm pregnant, you know, and then I can't embrace my dad. That happened back in Thailand, you know, when I was only 19, 20.
Yeah, young,
you know.
yeah.
So I ended up getting married and try to build a family and all that. It was not happening because when you're not in love, you just can't.
Right, there's no, you have no reason to build
so
it.
I divorced, and then second marriage and happened take place in Texas. That's well, believe it or not, guy. I just pretty new in here, United States. Though I would say that I came here the year of 2000, where the 9/11 just happening.
Oh.
2 months before that. But trust me, I'm not the one who do that.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Wrong part of Asia.
Yeah, not me, not me.
Wrong place.
Absolutely. That's my first year touch the ground in United States. Okay, so I met my second husband. I fall in love with him. He's a white boy, blue eyes.
He's the Texas barbecue boy,
Yeah,
right?
he was absolutely grabbed my heart when I just first met him. Was just so much in love. I'm going crazy about him. He's 5 years younger, by the way.
Oh, Rob the Cradle.
My first married 2 years younger.
Okay.
Okay, my second 5 years younger, and he was, I was so crazy in love with him. I was just like, I feel like a teenager, really
Oh,
go
right.
crazy. Anyway, all of a sudden we was, after I start my business, and I know he admitted to me before that he had the issue about doing drugs and all that. But I always forgive people. I always give people a second chance. He been sober for 2 years before he met me.
Okay.
Okay, and he was very clean shaven. He not romantic guy. Everything just so perfect about him that time. So all of a sudden that's the reason why I left Texas too. When I start my business to do the restaurant, I will succeed. But all of a sudden, he turned to something else after that. He start, see the money and start go do crazy stuff.
Right.
Get back to that point. So I have a 1-year-old son. I mean, a one son with him. He's 12 now. And by the way, that guy, after I divorced him, I moved to Texas. He just passed away last year.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's broke my heart though. I mean, but it's good thing that he don't have to. Because after I left Texas, I heard that he's very bad on things and cannot get over it. It's just so sad. I try
Well, what's
everything.
sad is it's sad for your son that his father's
Yes,
not around.
yes.
Yeah, that's what makes it sad.
Yeah, but you know what? I told myself, when people don't try to improve themselves, then I have to leave because I
No, that's
tried
smart
so
woman.
hard.
You can only go so far if they're not going to meet you. They aren't going to help themselves. You can't do all the work for them.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
I think of my son. That's why I left, and then I just told myself, no, I can't do this. Even I love you with all my heart. I have to leave. And I'm here alone. Okay, I don't have any family here. I don't know why I choose United States. It's just like I dream about it. I would when I got here, I I will say this. I speak only 20% in English. Okay, maybe 40% on reading. Okay, maybe 50% on writing. That's my first year in year 2000.
That's hard coming to a new country like
The
that.
year 2000. Okay, and this year 2014, I do believe that I think I'm proud of myself. I improved so much with the speech, with the talk, with the turn into business and all that
Right.
stuff. And think about this lady, I'm alone. I
Yeah.
fight alone. But the person that I think I do have a lot of energy in me. When I have love, I go for anything. When I have love, I have so much energy. My brain just keeps going boom, 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 go, 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 go.
Well, I think that I think that's most people, right? When you like get a new love and you've got all the serotonin working in your brain and you
But
can
also,
conquer the world, right?
yes, but also though, I do not think negative. Like, for example, even though some people hurt me, hurt my feeling, whatever, I always forgive them. I always think forward. Just forgive and keep on moving.
Right.
I don't stop. I think that's part of why make me who I am today. Go back to the relationship here. Um, I just really I think I just found someone that I really feel for.
Uh-huh.
Very very strong now. Bring me back to the Texas guy pretty much, but not compared to that. But I'm saying that bring my feeling back.
Right.
And I do have a lot of energy after I met him. We been talk every day. We talk about things. I learned so much from him about life, about relationship,
Is
about.
this one younger than you too?
He actually 8 years younger.
Oh, you like the younger man. Yeah, look at you, girl. You go.
Cougar.
You go, girl.
Oh no, Tyga in her case.
Yeah, in her case, it's the tiger. yeah.
Crying tiger. You're the crying tiger. That's what it
I
is.
just be crying when I meet him. When I with him, though.
It's as if actually, if you order the crying tiger, you will know what it feels like. The tears of the men who have
All the younger men.
all the
she's
younger
got.
men who have
We
befallen
see.
the
It just
crying tiger.
It just happened. I think it's just natural.
Have you ever done any dating on the internet?
I have not.
Never
but,
had to do that,
no,
huh?
but you know what? When I kind of back a few years ago, I have people like on Facebook thing inbox me. The guys inbox me. Hey, I want to be your friend. I have few guys that, to be honest, with you, I was chat like
Right.
just be a friend and all that. All of a sudden, I feel like this is unreal. You can't be real. You can't really like fall in love with someone online. Crazy.
There's some people that think
Wait,
they
do
can
they
fall
send you
in love.
penis pictures in
No,
your inbox?
none of that. None of that. None of that.
Oh.
I don't think I go that far. Basically, that
You don't have to go that
You don't
far.
have to
They
go that
just
far.
randomly send you penis.
They send me
pictures.
penis pictures all the
Oh
time.
wow. No, I don't get to see that. I saw all the handsome picture. Oh, this is how I do and this and that. I say, oh.
But you know, there's actually people that do fall in love like that.
But you know, I'll
It
push it.
perplexes me that you could fall in love with somebody you never met. You could fall in love with an illusion of what you think that person is.
Crazy.
It is
bullshit
crazy. You're
because
right.
it's not real.
It's bullshit.
I'm sorry.
No,
it's
you can say
okay.
it. I just think
Yeah,
it's
you're
cute
allowed
you
to say
said
that
it. We're
word
allowed
here.
to say that on here.
Talk about that. Okay,
Yeah.
talk about the accent.
She missed the whole razor cunt discussion from earlier.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Should I stop?
No, no,
No,
no.
you're fine. You're fine. We're allowed to say whatever we want here.
Here, go back to this. I always complain, not complain, but I always talk about like I concern about my accent when I speak, And when you talk about you like to hear
It was
my
cute
what I'm
when
cute.
you said bullshit. It was cute.
I was like talk to my friend, my good friend. Sometimes I don't feel comfortable with my accent, the way I talk, but I do ask people. I don't try to ask. I think that's why I improve my English a lot. I never go to school. I went to
You
one school.
communicate very, very well. I mean, you have
Thank
an
you.
accent, but you're not hard
Yeah.
to understand.
But friend tell me, Lucky, be who you are. It's you're authentic.
That's true.
That's why my version of my food come out to authentic, fresh, and healthy Thai food. Come to Chef Lucky Thai, you're looking for authentic, fresh, and healthy food.
Right.
That's my version of my food and my cooking. But talk about authentic. Yeah, my friend told me just worry about be who you are. You are perfect. You're absolutely cool and smart and energy and all that. Why are you care about your accent? Is you from
You're right.
Thailand and you were here
They're
only
right.
14 years,
They're right. Absolutely.
But they say they love what sometimes I say bad
Little
words.
words.
I love that.
All right, Toxie, do we got any more catch up from you this week, or you just was the crying fool at the
I
old
was
folk
the
home?
crying fool at the old folk home.
Well,
That's
thank you.
hilarious.
All right, Sierra, tell us about your week, girl. Back to the land of the living and
Yeah.
back a full week, back full.
Back a full week, and as experienced earlier this evening. So I am 100% positive. I didn't get any text messages. I didn't get any phone calls. I barely got any emails while I was on vacation. And I think I mentioned this last week,
That
but
was a long time you were gone.
I was gone for 2 whole weeks, and I was still not on the camera. There we go. That's better. I jokingly mentioned to Cali Guy that I thought, the reason there's nothing on my desk when I came back, and the reason I didn't get any phone calls or emails or text messages, is that they hid everything from me, and they're just hoping I don't find all the fuck ups.
Oh, like the microphone tonight?
Exactly.
Oh.
So over the last week, more and more things are coming to my attention. I'm hearing more and more stories of literal disasters that happened while I was gone that could have been solved by a single phone call or text message to me,
Right.
which I said, if it's really a big deal, let me know. It's not like I can't answer a question for you.
Right.
But everyone was like, oh, we didn't want to bother you on vacation. So you spent 3 weeks without a printer? Or 3 days without a printer? Like, we work in a business where you need to print contracts every single day. You went 3 days without a printer because no one called me to find out if we had spare toner for the printer. And they waited 3 days for the repair company to bring us a toner cartridge. I'm like, come on, people, think smarter.
Well, what doesn't
But
make you feel
then-
good that maybe they can't hold it together without me all the way.
Well, and then I find out that there's a lot of errors in certain other areas, lots of changes that happened that nobody told anyone else about, and then suddenly somebody comes to me and goes, hey, they're not on the air anymore, and they haven't been in almost 2 weeks. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why I don't know about it. Like,
Yeah.
there's apparently been catastrophic failures in some of the other studios that I haven't heard about. And then people are calling me up going, so what exactly do you need for that repair that happened for the, coffee spill 2 weeks ago? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And it is my job to know these things. And so when people come to me for solutions to problems that happened while I was on vacation and I don't know about those problems, it's really been aggravating me. Every day it's something new. And then I go to whoever started it and I'm like, why don't I know about this? And they're like, well, I didn't want to bother you on vacation. Well, I've been back for a week, asshole. Why haven't you told me about it yet? Why did you not think that it was important enough, like the first day I walk in the door, to just have a rundown of what happened so that I can either solve it, fix it, or, put it under the rug so no one figures out about it? Like, not that happens ever.
Now, wait a minute. Now I fully understand what your frustration was at the beginning of the show with the microphone. I totally understand now.
It's every day I'm finding out something new. And the reason I'm so angry about this is because we have a policy in place. And that policy includes CCing me on certain subjects, on certain matters.
So you should have gotten back and had a bunch of emails.
Exactly. I should have had a shit ton of emails to read through. And it's not just happening here. Things happened at the other building that affect us here that I didn't know about and nobody CC'd me on the emails about because they didn't want to bother me while I'm on vacation. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm coming back from vacation.
Yeah, and the emails will be there when I get there.
Right, and this happened a week and a half ago, and you all, every one of you motherfuckers that I am speaking to, know that none of you motherfuckers can remember anything the next day, let alone a week and a half later. So at what point did you think you were going to tell me, hey, by the way we do this has completely changed? Never. Like, I had to go to a training meeting for a new credit card software that we're going to be using that I didn't know we were going to be using until less than 24 hours before my training meeting. Because suddenly they're going to be like, so you coming to training? And I'm like, what training? Oh, didn't we tell you? No, motherfucker, you did not.
They didn't CC you on the email.
You didn't CC me on the email. None of you did. Yes. So it's every day it's something new. And it's getting to the point where, I have repairmen coming into my office going, so what needs to be fixed? And I'm like, fuck if I know, no one told me. And because that is part of my job, it makes me look like I'm not doing my job, which makes me very angry because then that report gets back to the guy who decides if I get payroll advances or not.
Right.
And, like, oh, the entire end of 2014, Sierra just fucked off on her job and didn't know anything that was happening. And like, no, I went on vacation for 2 weeks and came back and nobody told me anything. Like, that's what's going on. That just frustrates me. And then there's other shit that's happening at home, and it just makes me so mad that I'm involved.
Soon at your house?
My niece will be arriving sometime in the middle of January. I can't get a due date out of my sister. She tells me she's told me like 35 times, and I'm like, so what is the due date? January what? January? It's in January. It's in the middle of January. And I don't know why I can't get like
because doctors
January
give you an exact. My daughter's got a definite date of April 20th.
I'm sure my sister's been given one. I don't know if she listens or not. I'm just wondering if maybe the due date indicates change in fatherhood status. Not that that matters anymore.
Oh, so that's why she's not giving you an exact.
I have no idea. I'm not saying that's what it is.
I understand, but it just seems mysterious that she's not giving.
Well, and she's also talking about getting it induced because she doesn't want to carry the baby much longer. And I'm like, listen, women have been having babies for thousands of years.
That baby's not done cooking yet, or else it'd be wanting to come out. Right?
No, when that baby's ready, that baby is ready.
Exactly.
And baby will come out, and that's just like common sense, but I don't know. My sister, whoever the fuck she is, so.
Can you just tell her that my mother have 9 of her kids?
Your mom had 9 kids?
9 kids.
No hospital.
And never go to the hospital, you're right. Never. The last one, like an animal. I saw her. She will sit and cut that thing by herself.
Oh, that takes a lot. That's a woman. That is a real woman.
And then she stood back up, yanked that afterbirth out, and said, "What's for dinner?" Like
that's my little brother.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, and probably by number 9, like there was no labor.
Yes.
It just went boop.
Yeah,
it
could be that too.
Yeah.
But
after
you
9
talk
babies.
about when I tell her I have a first baby, I asked. She came to the hospital. I was crying like crazy. And you know what she told me? You have one and you cry and you with the doctor in the hospital? You know,
Like, you don't know nothing. It's the
Man
old
up,
story, like,
motherfucker.
wait,
It's
it's
just a
the-
baby.
I had to walk 4 miles to school barefoot in the snow. I had to give birth in a field, and you're in a hospital.
I gave birth to a baby in a rice paddy. You can do it in a hospital, God damn it.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, I thought about
Dirt
my mother.
floor
She was very
birthings.
proud. Yeah.
Jesus, Mom.
So anything good on the horizon? Is Cali guy coming for the holiday?
Oh yeah, he'll be here
Okay.
for the holiday.
Good.
He had to go take care of business and stuff in California, but he's coming back soon. Hopefully this weekend, maybe
Mhm.
next weekend. We'll see.
And duck for dinner. Mom's
yeah.
the newlyweds are doing well, and
Yeah,
life
they
is
seem
okay.
to be. I mean, you know, they're
But
making
life
pains
didn't-
of their asses of themselves.
well, status didn't change, but I mean they
No.
were living together before they got married. So
Yeah, no, they were living together before they got married. My mom still swings from being like this amazing mom that I grew up with and I knew and I loved and I really, want to have every day, to this super beast that, walks into okay, so I'm going to make it a really brief story because we have to get to everybody else. We don't have a whole lot of time. We don't know who did it, but we're pretty sure it was my sister's crazy meth head ex-boyfriend. Unlike my mom's crazy meth head ex-boyfriend, our house got stoned and 3 of our windows got broken
recently.
in the middle of the
other
night.
I did see that.
Yeah,
Wow.
just Friday night. It was
That's
Friday night.
Scary.
And so I called them and I called them and called them until I woke them up. I called the police and the police said there's nothing, because I was at home alone. It was just me and the wiener dog. Boy's at his dad's. My sister's at mom's. My mom is at mom's. Nobody's with me. And
Right. That's scary.
it was very scary because it woke me up out of a sleep at 1:00 in the morning. And so I called them and I am, kind of hysterical about it. And I said, and they're like, well, what are the police going to do? I said, nothing, but you people better get over here and take care of this. And they're like, well, I don't know. My mom's like, well, who am I going to call? I said, you can call the emergency hotline for your homeowner's insurance at 1:00 in the morning. That's the reason they have one. And of course they come over and they're like, well, we don't know what to do. And I'm like, I'm not helping you. This did not happen because of me. It didn't happen to my fucking windows. We know who did this. We know why he did it. And I have nothing to do with this. But of course I got a lot of attitude as if I was supposed to be helping solve these
Like,
fucking
board it up
problems.
or whatever.
And I'm like, well, for instance, one of them is a downstairs window and it was letting, we're expecting rain. And of course, my mother, who is incapable of making any sort of homeowner repair on her
Decision,
own,
right? Yeah.
she's calling a plumber to find out if he knows how to put a window in. And I'm like, no, you call a fucking home repair company and they come out and put in a
handyman
new
or something,
window.
right, yeah.
And you do it through a company that it's approved by your homeowner's insurance, and they will tell you what companies are approved by your homeowner's insurance by calling the homeowner's insurance company. They'll come out on a Sunday and replace it. No,
That's why you have insurance.
instead, we're waiting until Monday, and we're supposed to have a huge rainstorm. So she did this.
Not to mention it's cold as fuck here in Vegas right
I don't
now.
mind
That's true.
The
You don't
only
mind the
reason I've
cold.
turned the heater on is because my mom wanted me to, because she heard we might get down into the freezing at night, and I set it to 64, but I'll probably turn it down when I get home because it's too hot for me. But the stopgap thing that she put up on the window to try to keep the air out fell down, and I said, well, you have to come fix it. And she's like, well, can't you just... I said, no. What happened is not my fault.
Right.
I will not deal with any of this.
So you think it was your sister's ex-boyfriend that
Yes,
just did it just because?
Yes, because she told him that because he can't stay clean for 6 months, he can't see his daughter.
Well, that sounds reasonable to me.
And so he told her, you'll regret this. And then less than 24 hours
And he
later,
thinks
we
that
get...
she's living there.
Well, she technically is.
Right, I know that. But I mean, no, he didn't know.
But the thing is, this is why when I find out that you are a recovering drug addict, especially a meth head, and maybe this sounds unliberal of me, but I want nothing to do with you. Unless you've been clean for like 10, 15, 20 years, if you tell me,
yeah.
I can count on one finger the number of recovering meth addicts that I know who lead responsible lives now. Every other recovering meth addict I know has been in recovery 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 times.
Is it just meth addicts? I mean, if I came to you and said I'm in recovery for alcoholism, I know it's ironic. I've met more. I said that. I mean, is it something that you can move past?
I have met more alcoholics who are recovering alcoholics who've been clean 10, 15, 20 years, a year, and they're fine. And the thing about alcoholics is they don't steal shit from you to get alcohol.
No.
They don't stone your house in the middle of the night when they're drunk. They barf on your front lawn. Like, I can deal with you showing up and throwing up all over the place.
Right.
I can't deal with you hopped up on meth throwing things at me. What happens if this guy gets his hands on a gun? Now, a drunk might shoot himself in the foot. A meth is going to shoot you.
Right.
And that's the thing. I have one prejudice in this world, and it's mostly meth addicts. I have a real problem with them unless they can prove me wrong. And that's my attitude towards it. And during this whole process with my sister and her stupid meth head boyfriend, my mom and my sister were like, can't you be more positive about this? Can't you be more forgiving? Shouldn't you give him, a second chance? And I'm like, no.
He put a rock through the window.
This was before the rock through the window. This is back when they were trying to let me get him to live with us again.
Oh, no.
And I was dead set
you have
no.
a child.
This is why. This is why I did not want him living in the home. 4 months ago when all of the, real crazy drama shit started happening, 9 months ago when my sister first found out she was pregnant when all the drama was happening, this is why I said I don't want him in my home, because you never know what he's going to fucking do.
Right.
And they were all over my shit about not being so negative and so unforgiving and, so, whatever. And I'm like, now I have a thing to point at and say, this is why. This crazy bullshit of him showing up at the house at 1 o'clock in the morning and putting rocks through the window. If my niece was here now, where those rocks and glass landed would have been where her nursery would be.
Yeah.
He doesn't
how
give
does
a...
he know she didn't come early and she was...
That's exactly right. We are so close to the due date. Baby could be here. He wouldn't know because he won't get to know because he's fucking psycho. But I can't point that out to my mom and sister because I already got my ass chewed out Saturday because there was a load of dishes in the sink. Not even a dirty house. I had just cleaned the house.
Wait a minute.
There was a load of dishes in the sink, and my mother says, and you got to clean this motherfucking house before the repairmen come up. And I'm like, you know what? All you motherfuckers get the fuck out of my house. They all left to go do some shithole birthing class where they ended up learning anything, which I told them, you're not going to learn anything. Don't go to the birthing class. It's a waste of time, but they went anyway. And that was what I got. It wasn't, I'm so sorry this happened. It wasn't, thank you so much for making sure that we knew and for, getting us up. I didn't get any of that. No, you know what I got? I got, make sure you clean this motherfucking house. So make sure I do the one load of dishes that's in the sink. No fucking problem. Then when I say, can you come help me move my freezer? Because one of the windows is behind my freezer. Can you come help me move my freezer?
Was it in the front of the house?
No, it's all from the back, from the main street that runs behind our house. He stood on the street and threw rocks through the windows.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
And
so you would have to know. I didn't even realize that in hindsight now I know that
which house is theirs.
But unless it happened to your neighbors as well, then you were specific targets.
Because from that end, from the main street, it's over a wall, and you got to know what house.
But you wouldn't. Would you even know that they're there?
No,
I don't even think so.
See, because of the way the street is different level from our backyard, almost an entire story. If you stand on the street level behind us, you're looking in
the upstairs,
the second story windows.
Okay.
And it would have been vandals if it had been one rock, but it was 3 rocks.
All in the same window in the same area?
2 of them through the bedroom window and 1 through the downstairs window. And the repairmen are coming tomorrow at who knows what time. I think the repairmen are coming tomorrow. Who knows at what time. And I've asked for them to come help me move my freezer so that it would be, easy, open for them. And I was told, well, the repairman can do it when they get there. And I said, listen, I don't want somebody who doesn't care moving my fucking freezer. because I use it. It's mine. And
food in it, probably.
Right, and I don't want it unplugged, and I don't want the feet ripped off of it, and I don't want, it to get any more dented than it is from the brick that your meth head ex-boyfriend threw through the window. But no, I'm not allowed to move my freezer, and nor will I get any help moving my freezer, because right now it's the only thing keeping anyone from crawling in the downstairs window. Well, you know what? Wouldn't be a problem if you got the fucking repairman out. Yes, today. They could have come today.
Well, and not to mention, you're here, and your house is open.
I'm the only one yeah, and they won't come stay with me. God forbid they know that I'm staying in an unsecured home. No, their solution is, why don't you come stay with us? Oh, you want me to go stay with you an hour away from where I work when I have no gas to get out there in the first place, no gas to get back out from there, and stay in a house full of smokers who don't care that my son has asthma? No. I'll stay here.
Do they smoke in the house out there?
Oh, well, they don't smoke in the house when we're there, as long as I remind them not to smoke in the house.
But they do when
But they do sit outside the door with the windows open. So
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter at all. And it just makes me angry. I could go stay at Cali Guy's house, and if anything else happens, I will.
Right. Just be safe, yeah.
This is my fucking home. I shouldn't have to go stay at my boyfriend's house because your fucking ex-boyfriend, whom you swore up and down was a good guy even though he was a meth addict, threw fucking rocks through my window.
I just have to share because I totally missed this when he wrote it, but Cali Guy, this is about what you were talking about before. Cali Guy's like, gosh, why do you have to be so judgy?
Yeah, that's it. Why do I have to be so judgy? Why do I have to take one look at the situation, and after 3 separate incidences where I'm told lock the doors, don't let him in, and I say, you know what? Third time's the charm. He's out of here, motherfuckers. 3 strikes. You're out. He can't live here. You're so judgmental. And then he throws rocks through the windows. We're actually at 3 minutes because I'm not paying any attention to time. We have 3 minutes left. I didn't want to make this a long thing because...
Well, and I want to make sure before we go that we get all of Chef Lucky's stuff going on. I don't have much going on. I took an impromptu trip to California because I can't make any money in Vegas in December. I was there 48 hours, did really, really well. So I'm back.
Did you make enough to not have to go anywhere for the rest of the month?
Right. I'm not going. Yeah, I'm here for the month. I made enough money in 48 hours to make like my monthly income. I've been going to California so much that I've got a lot of locals there, a lot of regulars. So that's all I seen was regulars.
Think about relocating?
No. Well, I mean, why would I? My house, it's my house,
your grandkids.
My grandkids, I'm good going there once a month, and stay in a week and make my bills, and I can come home and then I work on all my clips and all this stuff. So Chef Lucky, we got 2 minutes left. I want you to tell everybody again your website, your Twitter, your Facebook, how they can reach you, because we got to fill these classes, your classes.
Honestly, my location is on 8609 West Sahara Avenue.
Now, it's good for them not to come knocking at your door. It's better to call and schedule an appointment, right?
Well, remember, I am catering.
Okay.
So you have to order in advance.
Okay.
For example, you're going to have a big party for next Wednesday. You're going to have to call me already or book me already. The way you can book me, go www.chefluckythai.com, and our information in there. You pick out the menu, you pick out the package in there. If you want to do personal chef as well, same thing with the catering. Fill out the information in my website, and then send to me. The website will link you to that point.
Y'all, I'm not going to go over her prices now, but she's got some prices on the brochure she sent us, and they're very, very reasonable to have a personal chef. She can design a menu for you, to do the private parties for adults, for children. But
I posted her website on our her website's out on our Facebook, our Twitter, our Google Plus.
Yes.
So her information's all posted,
especially on Yelp. some Yelp. I have really good review yet. If you go on Yelp, you'll find everything about me.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff people talk. A great
look about
personal
this guy.
chef. Lucky's appreciation for her home country of Thailand's cuisine is sensational. Lucky Thai's delicious presentation. She will return soon for a special event house party. There you go. They're all of them. Superb chef, very tasty food, and we're down to 1 minute. So Chef Lucky, you have been a lot of fun here. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've never had a food guest, a chef on the show, so this is the first one.
Well, absolutely. Well, it seems like having fun talking to you guys, and thank you for having me and giving me my opportunity to talk about my business and my food. Hopefully, find me on Yelp, on Facebook at chefluckythai.com.
All right, and good food. So thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
This is Sierra,
Sweet Cheeks,
And Toxie.
wishing you all a good night. And remember, fuck often.